Good morning everyone, my name is from the University of Helsinki. I'll be moderating today. I'd like to wish you all welcome on this Friday. We'll start with Lienhard Legenhausen from the University of Münster in Germany. He'll lead us into developing learning autonomy. How do we do it?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Okay, this is better. Yeah. Developing learner autonomy. How do we do it? A simple question. Hopefully, the answer is also as simple. Yesterday, Leni used this diagram. And we worked this out for another conference, but she changed the sub-headings. So I would like to make use of the same diagram in order to relate it to today's topic. So what have we got today? There will be a talk by Martha, how to engage the learner's identity. She'll be talking about motivation and teenagers, and as we learned yesterday, if we engage the learner's identity, well, motivation is no longer a problem. It follows suit, as it were. Well, for me, giving learners choice, how to do it, giving learners choice is for me some kind of entrance ticket to developing learner autonomy. If teachers don't know how to do it, well, just give them that piece of advice. Give the learners more choice. And you can start giving them more choice on Monday, as Leni would say. Well, we have got to build an old knowledge. David and Leni talked about that. And for me, authenticity of what's going on in classroom is very, very important. For me, it's the social interaction between learners that is important. That is, get the learners to speak as themselves and do not engage them into as if activities. If the social interaction is authentic, then by definition, the communication will be as well. And the authenticity of the communication, or as Turid said, the discourse in the classroom is what matters. And Turid will talk about authentic discourse in various classrooms. Is that right, Turid? In a way. Okay, and we do rely on peer tutoring, and evaluation is, of course, the pivot of it all. And I thought when Leslie and Jose Luis talk about getting learners to consciously make decisions, well, then they have got to reflect. And, well, reflection is, of course, a prerequisite for, well, reviewing what they have done, evaluating what they have done. Okay, so we do get some answers to the question, how do we do it? But, this is what Turid said at one of the conferences I think it was in Copenhagen, and there's a striking non-existence of learner autonomy at classroom level. So if we, in this room, we seem to be knowing how to do it, but why is it that there is this striking non-existence at classroom level? And I think it's still true today, although you said it in 2006, 6 years ago. Well, I think for me there are two reasons for the lack of learner autonomy at classroom level. I think there are these methodological issues and psychological issues. I think the psychological issues might be more important. Even teachers who see the attractions of learner autonomy don't really know how to do it. That seems to be the problem. That is, they are beset by doubts and misgivings about questions of practical implementations. Well, we say, well, let's engage the learner's identity, but how am I going to do it? How do I integrate old knowledge, systematically that is? How do I incorporate daily evaluations, etc., etc.? That is, I think we have to break down these questions into small. But I said, the psychological problem is more serious, because I think that teachers, well, no, we all need structure to what we're doing. And that's the very asset of the textbook, of course. It provides structure. Learners and teachers know exactly what to do. So if we want to develop learner autonomy and do not encourage the use of the textbook, well, what is it that replaces this structure? Learners, I was just told, well, I've just used 5 minutes, right? I thought I was left with 5 minutes. So, what kind of structure can replace a textbook if I want to develop learner autonomy? That is, for me, one of the crucial questions. Because teachers think they lose control of what's happening in classrooms if they do away with the textbook. They might not know that they haven't got control anyway of what's going on in the learner's mind. But it is the subjective belief that counts. They think they're losing control. And that's why we have to think in terms of, well, how can we support them, providing an explicit and transparent structure. And I think, well, psychology, anxieties and fears about loss of control. How can structure be provided in classroom procedures if we want to develop learner autonomy? And I think it is here that the work cycle, or Leni talked about the learning cycle, comes into play, I think. So we all know that the curriculum is no longer a hindrance or obstacle. On the contrary, it might even facilitate what we're doing. And on this basis, learners and teachers together will develop activities, develop ideas, what learners can do in the classroom, and that allows them to start the planning phase for their negotiations. Then they make decisions, very important. It's the learners who make the decisions in cooperation, of course, with the teacher, because the teacher's responsibility rests, of course, with the whole procedures. Then they start working, evaluating, and a new planning phase starts. Decision making has got another side to the coin. That is, learners are, of course, also accountable for what they're doing. When they're working, we would like learners to, well, to approach the undertaking with the spirit of a researcher. Well, when they find and look out for materials, yes, they are also researchers. And very important for the structure of what's going on, they've got to document whatever is going on in the classroom. Okay? And then evaluation of processes and outcomes. Okay, what are some issues and challenges? How to do it with a textbook. Many teachers are more or less obliged to use a textbook because of the decisions by school conference. What about grammar? That is the eternal question asked after the workshop. Teachers do see the need for doing something, but what about grammar? What about special learning contexts and learners? Very young learners, immigrant adults, etc. Do the same principles apply at all levels? Of course they do. Of course they do. So this morning's topics include different levels of schooling. We have got Marta with teenagers, we have got Aranza with higher education, and Stefan and Jochen with university students. And my time is up. Thank you, and we're looking forward to these plenary talks.